Greetings and welcome to the introduction to astronomy. One of the things that I like to do in each of my introductory astronomy classes is to begin the class with the astronomy picture of the day from the NASA website, that is apod.nasa.gov/apod. And today's picture for August 25th of 2022. Well, it is titled Tiangong Space Station Transits the Moon. So what do we see here? Well, we do see an image of our moon, and in great detail. And we can see the heavily cratered southern portion up at the top. And do remember that images taken through a telescope are inverted. So that southern portion is up at the top here, and the northern portion of the moon is down at the bottom. And we can see very heavily cratered region up there as part of the lunar highlands, the older regions on the moon. And we can see towards the central portions some parts of the Maria. Maria are the younger portions of the moon that were flooded more recently. And of course, more recently on the moon means that they're only 3.5 billion years old, as compared to 4 to 4.5 billion years old for the highland regions. So everything on the moon is very old compared to Earth. Which is quite different than, again, quite different than what we're used to here on Earth. Things are much younger. That's because not that the Earth is a younger object, but that the Earth has volcanic activity that continually reworks the surface. So any craters here that formed on Earth 4 billion years ago have long been worn out by weathering processes and by volcanic activity that has changed Earth's surface. So it's one of the way we tell ages in the solar system. Things that have more craters have their surfaces have been exposed to space for a longer period of time than something that has fewer craters. So any place in the solar system, we can look at the relative number of craters and at least be able to tell roughly what was older and what was younger. Now we also see another thing here, and that is a set of dots going diagonally across the image. And that is images of the Tiangong Space Station, which is orbiting Earth and is easily visible from Earth's surface. So you can see it as we see the International Space Station, and we can see it here as well, and various different images taken as it passed directly in front of our moon. So couldn't collide with the moon, and that's because it's only about 400 kilometers above Earth's surface, whereas the moon is closer to 400,000 kilometers away. So while we lose that perspective of distance, we know that it's there, and that some objects are much closer to us and some are much further, even when we look at them in the sky, and it looks like they might be at the same distance. And of course, it gets even more extreme when we look out to further distances. Now we can take the images and track the orbits to find out when it would pass directly in front of an object such as our moon here. And this was the date and time are given right on the image. And the image was taken in Australia. So it would only fit in certain areas for that specific time. So just because it passed in front of there for Australia, had you gone further north, then it would not have passed in front of the moon because of parallax. Parallax is the apparent shift of a closer object relative to a more distant object. So the space station will exhibit a larger parallax. And if you moved further north or south on Earth, then it would move as well and not pass directly in front of our moon as it does in the image here. So if you're going to plan to catch a transit like this, you have to consider your location and plan exactly where the space station will pass relative to the object that you are interested in. So that was our picture of the day for August 25th of 2022. It was titled Tiangong Space Station Transits the Moon. We'll be back again tomorrow for the next picture, previewed to be Little Planet. So we'll see what that is about tomorrow. And until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in class.